Nice to meet you. Welcome. I'm glad you came here. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Doing pretty good. Well, I see that you submitted all of your paperwork and you signed an understanding of your disclosure, and I just wondered if you had any questions about the paperwork that you filled out.
No.
All right. Well, just to let you know, I'm going to sort of be looking at the information that you submitted and just maybe making some notes along the way as we go. Don't let that bother you. This is just sort of from my memory. Anything I might write down here, I'm going to go to my computer and type in, it's secure, and then I'm going to shred it off. Just to let you know that your information is going to be private, and everything that we discuss here will be private. There are very few instances where I might have to or need to disclose anything that you might tell me, but if there is a danger to yourself or a danger to someone else, then certainly that might be one of those instances when you read the disclosure where I might need to talk with someone else about that. But other than that, the things we say here together are private.
Good.
So can you tell me a little bit about why you're here today?
Court-ordered road rage.
I see. Would you like to tell me something about what incident brought you here?
Well, the confrontation with another driver.
All right. Well, what kind of things happened during this confrontation?
Well, it's just mainly verbal. But, the police arrived and thought we both needed to have anger management class for road rage.
All right.
So here I am.
Well, here you are, and I hope that we can work together to try to investigate your feelings about that, and we'll just sort of begin here. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been married a long time. Good wife. And, well, it's been 40 years now.
That's a good long marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a good lady.
All righty. What about your work?
Oh, just work at the hospital, PA hospital,
Mm-hmm.
with the vets. I'm a vet, you know.
You're a vet?
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
That may be where the problem will rise from. I believe in people ought to do according to regulations and rules and so forth. So when they get out on the road, and they got to realize they got people's lives in their hands by handling a car. So it really irritates me when they don't do the proper thing.
I see. What kind of things do people do, I guess, that irritate you?
Well, let's say the speed limit would be 70 miles an hour, and they'll be in the left-hand lane doing 50. You know, you got all the traffic building up around them, and clearly the law states, you know, slow traffic to the right. And other people got other things. It just seems so inconsiderate for me, for one thing. And in many countries, even, it's illegal to pass on the right, so they decided it should be that way. But yet here in the United States, there are people who get in the left-hand lane and just ride all day. They feel like it's safer that way because they only got one person on one side.
Oh, I understand what you think about that. I do. Let's go back to the military. So you were in the military for how long?
Oh, 20 years.
20 years. Okay. And did you, kind of responsibility do you have in the military?
Oh, I was sergeant. I was in charge of a platoon one time. And I was sergeant for years and years.
I see. when you were in the military and your men that were under you um, didn't live up to the military standard, how did you handle that?
Well, I had control over their time. The biggest thing's their time. So if a young soldier messed up, it was my job to correct him. I tried verbally first, and then if I had to, I'd take their time.
See, that's it. So you were able to correct them and control them in that particular way.
I was able to usually control my men without having to. Most of them were willing to follow, without question. So I didn't really have a whole lot of disciplinary problems. They were pretty well did as I said. But I believe working as a team. I like to delegate authority instead of control authority. I think that's called an authoritarian. I'm not an authoritarian. I'm delegating. I like to spread the responsibility.
How have things been for you since you left the military?
And it been as challenging. I did the truck driving for a while. Boy, saw a lot of wrecks right in front of me. People not knowing how to drive. You got to realize a truck driver lives on the road. So you see so many wrecks. People doing things too quickly. People getting hurt.
So would you say that your time as a truck driver maybe made you feel how does that relate to your driving experiences now?
I reckon I consider myself more a professional driver with as many miles as I put on the road, whereas a lot of these people are just 20 minutes a day or 30 minutes a day. I spent, I believe, 4.5 years of 24 hours a day in a truck. So I was averaging about 5,300 miles a week. And, you get to see a lot of mistakes in front of you.
You do, I'm sure. Well, your instances, have there been other instances with other drivers where you've had confrontations? And just in your regular driving, not so much with truck driving?
Well, the only reason this one was because the guy stopped in front of me. I had nowhere ever to go, so I had to respond to that. Of course, I could have rolled up the window or something, but instead I got out of the car, and it's probably my biggest mistake.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily the police officer was close at hand and was able to.
So what would you have done different in that situation?
I don't know. I thought I was right.
Okay.
But I reckon I shouldn't have gotten into it all together. Should just wrote the guy off as being poor driver and untrained, which I usually do.
So what are your plans if you encounter a situation like this in the future?
That I haven't considered. Each day is different. I would have got in the car. I think I'd probably go around it. Yeah, try not to let them bother me anymore. That's what I'm going to do.
That sounds like a wise choice.
Yeah, the wife helps on that a lot.
That's good. So tell me more about your anger issues. Is it confined to your problems in driving, or are there other times when you've had problems with being angry?
No, I usually don't let things bother me. I'm real hard to anger. I've been told. And I reckon mainly because I like everybody. And I respect everybody. And I believe everybody has the an equal right. I don't judge anybody. I just take them as they are. And so usually I don't have confrontations with any group or norm unless they initiate it, and then I just take them as they are and move on.
Okay. Alright. Alright. So what was it, besides the possibility of having an automobile accident, even though you avoided that, that may have made you, do you know what maybe made you react that way? Were there other circumstances, or just...
I think it was leadership too. I wanted so badly to tell him what he'd done wrong and what the consequences could have been. I reckon I had it in my mind that he didn't see the results of his action and what they would have been. Maybe he thought it would just harm me personally instead of it involving him and other people in the whole situation. And it wasn't worth the time lost. I just mainly wanted to let him understand the consequences that could have been avoided if he'd have just been a courteous or more of a wise driver. I remember several times hauling hazmat people with, and that's hazardous material. And several times that drivers wouldn't take into consideration that hazmat itself is dangerous to the whole population. I actually had a BMW try to run me off the road one time. I had a 5 placard load. Do you know what a placard is?
Yes.
It tells what kind of chemical and so on. So he tried to run me off the road in downtown Little Rock, Arkansas. I don't know how many people it would have killed, but it probably would have injured a few, to say the least. Little Rock doesn't have a road that you can bypass with hazmat, such as Atlanta and even Birmingham. It has roads that you can bypass going straight through town.
I think our time is up.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay, stretch out a few more minutes.
We'll meet again. 2 weeks.